Hey everybody, welcome to the walkthrough for the installation guide for the Grid and Podium plugins package. I'm going to walk through installation. As usual, you're going to start with your zip file, get it going there, and the first thing you're going to want to do is hit that README file. It's going to look like this. Walk you through the installation instructions and get it going. The first thing you want to do is load in the new plugin. So you're going to open up whatever project file you're using. Go to the SDK option set under Overlay and Plugins. Open that up. And I've already got them loaded in, but what you're going to do is come down and click Import. Find that plugin that you just unzipped and bring it in. You do not need to make any adjustments here in the plugin panel. Hit Apply and OK. Next thing you're going to want to do is load in that remote control component. You're going to hit F2 to go into edit mode in your remote control panel. Come down here, change this import from library to import file, then click import file. Find that remote control panel, Grid and Podium, and it'll usually show up down in the bottom left. So we are going to grab this, move it over here somewhere where it's a little easier to see, and get it set up for use. You can see I've got a whole bunch of other stuff from other plugin work here. Don't mind any of that for now. We want to focus on this scrolling grid and podium setup. All right, and then the next thing you're going to want to do is get the style overrides started. Open up those style overrides, paste in this text. It's in the README file. It includes the hide logic, some basic setups here for the better grid and the podium. Now you can really make these overlays pop by tweaking some of these, especially by using your background image in a way that can be creative. I like to use a fireworks GIF in the background of my podium to give it a little bit of pop. You'll see that in the demo. In here though, I've just got it set to black, and you can do whatever you want with that. Same with the podium. As you mess around with the grid, I have it pretty big on screen. You can shrink it down a little bit. The images will scale with the size of the panel, but the fonts will not, so you can edit that here, the grid header and grid driver text. Then once you do that, you're going to want to add in those initial variable values. Open that up here. I've got a whole bunch of extra stuff, but you're going to paste in just 2 lines from the README that make sure that the grid and the podium are hidden when you first open your SDK. And now let's take a look at what you get with this overlay package. So the first thing you're going to do is, try out your grid. Now the grid is going to be pretty much full screen. The button includes a setting to shrink the 2025 NASCAR tower to short so it gets out of your way. And you can use this grid pretty much anytime once the race has started, the race session that is. You do not have to do it while they're gridding, but you can start it while they are gridding. It's based on the starting position data variable. A couple notes on that. There are some things that won't be accurate at the beginning of a race as they're lined up. One of those would be if a driver decides to start from the pits, they're going to be shown in the position they would have started in. If they get a pre-race EOL penalty through your league or something, they're still going to be shown where they would have been before that EOL. And if someone doesn't actually even start the race, they're still going to be listed. Sometimes it puts them at the back, sometimes it puts them where they qualified. But just look out for those things if something doesn't perfectly match up with what you're seeing. But when you hit show, it's going to come up like this. You got the driver's car images in the center, their name and position on the side, along with their profile picture they've got loaded into the driver information app. If they don't have the image, it's fine. It just doesn't show up. The text moves up to the center. Otherwise, you get this going on here. Each row is shown for about 5 seconds. I found that is the perfect timing to be able to say everyone's names, but move fast enough so that this grid is finished by the time the pace truck is pulling off the track to get on. It's also set up with the, further up driver on the right side, which is a little counterintuitive if you're just reading a grid, but it sets it up so that the trucks are positioned in the way that they'd be seen on track with that inside car, the one that's a position ahead of the outside car. And that's it. It automatically hides itself when it wraps up. You don't have to remember to click hide, but to get it to show again, you'd click hide and click show one more time. I've also included 2 buttons here to make it a little bit easier for you. So let's say you know, usually when I do the grid, I like to jump to the pace car and look out the back window. On a NASCAR pace truck, the roll bar camera is actually on the back of the truck cab looking back over the bed of the truck. It's a perfect one. You could also use gearbox if it's a pace car or something else. And so to do that easily, I just left a button here. When you click this button, the camera will switch to the pace car. One thing of note, though, when the pace car is selected, the SDK camera controls do not seem to work. So you need to pick whatever camera you want before you switch to the pace car. So usually what I do to kind of smooth this out is I also have a button for the leader. Click on the leader. If you just want to have whatever camera you're using focus on them, then I'll pick either the gearbox or the roll bar, depending on the pace truck, as either my primary camera or that second camera option in SDK, the switch to camera, so that when you switch back to the pace car, it throws you wherever you want to be. And you don't have to use gearbox or roll bar. You can use anything. You don't even have to use any of this. You could stick with whatever camera you want. But again, I like to switch to the pace car looking back at the field, then fire up the grid as we're going. Then similarly, at the end of the race, driver comes across the line, the race is over. While you're kind of waiting for them to come around and do the burnout, I like to throw up the podium graphic. And it's just got a little bit of a cascaded set here of first, second, and third as they finish the race. And this is another one where if things happen after the race, if drivers get black flagged and disqualified there at the last second, sometimes this won't be accurate anymore because it's just kind of grabbing position at the last time that the position variable gets edited. And so I have seen that issue, but otherwise this is pretty simple. And again, you can really make this pop, move it around the screen. Right now it's set up to fit on screen with the tower. So if you can leave that NASCAR tower open at full size, the podium squeezes in a little bit different than how we set up the rolling grid. That actually does the opposite. It shrinks that tower up out of the way so you can get that full size picture of the trucks and the drivers. Trying to think of any other tips and tricks. That's about it. It's pretty similar to the other plugins. The remote control components on this one are really easy to use. Just basic hide and show. The grid cycles through on its own, and then hides itself when it's done, so you can be ready to jump onto the race start and start calling the race. I hope you enjoy. Thanks for watching. Check out our other plugins as well. We'll see you next time.